Hey, are you a business owner looking to scale your business? Would it be valuable to you if you could tap into 30 years of PR experience on how to grow your business? What would that mean to you? Like if you didn't have to reinvent everything, but just lean into 3 decades of experience and just, help you take a few shortcuts so that you can scale your business. Amazing, right? So listen up. We are joined today by Stacy Oliver on today's show. So I'm awesome Angie Ingstrom.
And I'm Kira Atgard. And we like to welcome you, Stacy, to Momentum Makers podcast. We're so thrilled to have you here today. Welcome,
Thank
Stacy.
you. Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here. So excited to be here.
Oh, great. I'm just going to share a little bit about you if people don't know you already. So now Stacey, she's worked in PR for 30 years and she has a wealth of knowledge. So listen up and take out your notebooks because Stacey will definitely be sharing some gold today. A little hint, Stacy's secret sauce is the power of traditional media to grow your business. Stacy is actually the publisher of Mind, Body, Soul magazine, which prints quarterly and has 300,000 readers annually across 5 cities. So amazing.
Oh, I love that. Did you see her flash that across the
Yeah,
screen?
I
That's
saw that.
awesome.
So cool.
That's amazing. Awesome. Well, thank you, Stacy, for being here. Look at that.
It's
Um,
gorgeous.
Yes, and I've seen your website and it is amazing the work that you do. So
Mm.
let's dive into it. I'm excited to hear like what inspired you to start your business.
Well, in 1998, I have been publishing health magazines for 20 years. In 1998, my husband at the time, I was 29, he was 33, he passed from leukemia. So I had never been impacted by a serious illness or had anyone that had had cancer. But so obviously it made a huge impact on me. And I started looking into alternative health practices. Um, he did die very textbook of leukemia a year and a half. However, I was in real estate and I had a client that used Chinese medical doctor along with her Western treatments, and she lived 6 years longer than
Wow.
my husband, and it made a huge
Mhm.
impact. Like I kept watching her. She called to refinance her house. She's still alive. I'm like,
Mhm.
what? Because they had the exact diagnosis. And she had a little girl that was 18 months old, um, same age as our son. So her daughter remembers her. That was what was significant to me. I was like, wow. When she did pass 6 years after Mike, I thought, wow, her daughter has memories. Now, whether that's good or bad, I don't know. It's the journey where my son has some very vague memories. So it just made an impact on me. And 6 months after he passed, while I'm watching her, couple year journey, after Mike died, it was July of 1999, actually, I heard a voice in meditation that said, publish a holistic healthcare magazine. Um, and my first thoughts, which I think is interesting, to me, it's the most interesting part of the story. My first thought was, I opened my eyes and I thought, oh my God, I would be great at that. Like, I mean, I don't know. I know people get messages and hear things and get inspirations, but my first thought, I think, was very interesting, that I just knew I would be really great at that. So, and it didn't happen for some years later. It was 2004 in Aspen, Colorado, when I moved there with my son, who was 8 years old at this time. And I noticed there was no health and wellness publication there, so I became an affiliate publisher of a magazine from St. Louis, which was where I'm from, The Healthy Planet. So I worked on that for 4.5 years, and then I had a very mainstream, glossy. My vision was always to reach mainstream women who are having health issues. And so that's what I did back home in St. Louis for over 10 years. I sold that magazine in 16, worked with them till 2018, retired at 50. I was teaching meditation. I wasn't fully retired. And then Mind, Body, Soul another vision during meditation. I had a vision. This was more of a picture that came in my mind of people holding Mind, Body, Soul magazine to re-enter after the pandemic. And this came together in 6 weeks. The first issue. I don't have a copy of that in front of me, but
Oh, wow.
it was 100 pages. It came together in 6 weeks, and we had 300 people at the launch party, and it was quite phenomenal. And I thought, well, first I thought, what did I love about publishing? Because I sold, my magazine in 2016, and I thought what I loved the most was helping my business owners, the advertisers. And it is a free pickup so that the advertisers get immediate results. Um, it's a free pickup in very strategically placed demographic areas. So in St. Louis, it's in very affluent areas. So the women that are picking it up, they really are spending $4,000 to $6,000 a month on their beauty regimes, their health, their wellness, their yoga, their acupuncture, their coaches, so that is the target reader. And it's influencers and authors are our target advertisers. So if I help influencers and authors that are ready to go to the next level and be put on the national and international stage with Mind, Body, Soul magazine with a cover or articles inside, because we distribute in that affluent area of St. Louis, Vail, Telluride, Aspen, and North San Diego County, which is La Jolla, Del Mar, North to Carlsbad, and Rancho Santa Fe. So that's our niche reader and our niche advertiser.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Mm.
I love, like you said, your reaction. You just embraced it. Like you just knew, like, how awesome to get that specific of a message. I mean, that right there is, I love that. And then for you to go, yeah, I got this.
I know, I would be great at that. Of
Yeah.
course, the one thing I always thought, which I want people to hear, is I always thought, so for a couple of years, there was a gap between when that message came and when I actually, 99 to 2004, when I published, I journaled about it, probably drove everyone crazy. I'm going to publish a healthcare magazine, da, 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 and I kind of always thought, and I was working on my own healing journey, and my thought process was, you get to live your vision, which for me was to publish a magazine, a healthcare magazine. You get to live your vision once you've healed, once you've fully healed. But what I found out was just going ahead and launching and doing it and not knowing what I was doing, and the pressure of all that, in this 20-year journey into the masterpiece, which is Mind, Body, Soul, for sure. The first one was newspaper print, only distributed, in Aspen, and it did go to Boulder and Denver later. And then Yoga and Spa magazine was just a local magazine. And I thought, if I'm doing this again with Mind, Body, Soul, I'm going to go national. So that's why we're in these 5 cities and expanding to Scottsdale and Sedona this year. But it was really the pressure of, learning to be a businesswoman, figuring the model of the magazine out, the business model. That's what grew me into the woman I am today. So.
Oh, that's fantastic. So you primarily help, say that statement again, like you help
influencers, authors. Now, this is a cover girl in Vail. This is Dr. Deborah Dunn. She I do not think she has a book yet, but she is an anti-aging, she's a medical doctor, an MD, and she has a clinic, reverse aging clinic, so to speak, in Vail. You fly in, stay at the Four Seasons across from her clinic, and have a 1-week treatment. She has some very advanced treatments. She's always learning. So, she's another example of a cover girl that wanted to expand her influence. She has a lot of credibility, but being featured on a cover of a magazine definitely increases your credibility and expands your influence. And it kind of, I call it Insta famous, which I think is an Instagram actual term. So it is, we are kind of making women Insta famous by being on the cover of Mind, Body, Soul magazine.
I love it. I love how you have it strategically placed. That's brilliant. How
Yeah.
valuable for an influencer to get their message out. I love that. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And the
Super
readers,
important.
the readers are wanting, they have the external money. They have had the wealth. They are desperate for the inner, healing, which does happen, even though this is kind of a rejuvenation clinic she has. It's also rejuvenation, not just of your, it's your mind, body, and soul rejuvenation.
Ah. So actually you have two kind of clients, you might say. You have the readers and you have the influencers and the advertisers. So would you tell us a little bit about the process for the influencers and advertisers?
Yes, it's for 20 years, I created a 1-year package. I wanted to just share Trisha Nelson, another great example. This is the Telluride, Colorado cover she's currently in. She also will be on the San Diego, September and Aspen covers. So she's really going big because her mission is so important to her, and it is to end emotional eating, another issue that so many of us deal with. So another
Mm.
great example of an influencer and author, and she just launched her book, Heal Your Hunger. Um, so the process is, it takes me a year. I've always done this because I realized very quickly, people had a idea that, oh, print doesn't work. Well, one little quarter page ad probably doesn't work one time. So
No.
what I created 20 years ago was a program of a 1-year marketing package that includes, really, there are no advertisers. There are some full page ads in here. This is a feature article. There are only full page ads and 2-page feature stories. This is an interior decorating. Your home is your sanctuary. So very important. So interior design is super important to our wellness. So there are full pages. Here's a doctor in San Diego. Dr. Scarlett actually has raved about how many clients she's gotten. Here's a nice 2-page feature, an example. So when you do a cover, you get a 2-page feature layout. This is Mariah Lee in Aspen, Colorado. She is on a mission with the new stem cell patches, which are so cool for energy and healing the body. So it's a 1-year package that includes print, digital, and our live events. So whether you do a cover or just a full page ad package, there are smaller resource ad packages. These are the only little ads, and they're all grouped in the back. So it keeps the magazine super clean. That's why everyone loves it.
Yeah.
It's 300,000 print readers over the 12 months in 4 issues in all 5 of those cities. We'll be adding more with Scottsdale and Sedona. And then the digital is a quarterly email to our very devoted, email subscribers, and social media posts, a podcast interview with me, and then our live events. So the cover girls are going to be all the keynote speakers at the Live Your Power Expo and Speaker Summit, February 21st to the 23rd. I've moved it to San Diego for 2025, moving it. It's been in St. Louis 13 years. We have 3,000 women every last Saturday of January for 13 years. So we're just moving it to San Diego to grow it more, and expand. And I'm living here in gorgeous San Diego now, so I'm moving it here. And so we have 50 to 60 health vendors, giveaways. I give a 5-star trip for 2 away. We've given cruises away. We get Pelotons, Brain Tap. We give some great prizes away and have a fashion show and speakers. So it is a speaker summit.
Sounds
Oh, this sounds
awesing.
So
awesome.
they
Oh my
give us
gosh.
so all of that works together over the year to really get them $1 million in in their potential return on their investment by being in Mind, Body, Soul magazine.
Brilliant. I love that. I love that. Um, let's see. How about another story? Because our listeners love stories. Like, can you share a successful client story?
I will. Oh my gosh, there are so many. Who's my favorite? Well, I'll share a client story, but let me tell you another story from me. And I think this will help any women struggling as business owners. I was at a point, I don't know what year it was. It was in St. Louis with Yoga and Spa magazine, maybe like year number 3, because it seems to me whatever business we're in, like the third year always has felt like the turning point for me. Was my real estate career, and each of these publications. So I was at a like exhausted, gonna quit point. And I went to a 40th birthday party of a friend. And she was actually a business coach of mine. So friend is a loose word, but she became a friend, but I didn't know any of her friends because I was a client of hers. And I gave her a spa trip for her 40th birthday party from one of our advertisers. And the woman taking notes actually, that's crazy. This is that woman that said this to me at that party. She became an advertiser, but Chris Keller, she was taking notes of the gifts, and Erin Joy introduced me and said, "Oh, this is my client and friend Stacy. She has Yoga and Spa magazine." And the woman, Chris Keller, says, "Oh my God, that magazine saved my life." So this is a reader story. And she proceeded to tell 40 of us her story. And a lot of people there knew the story because they were all friends. And we were crying. She was saying for 5 years, she suffered with no energy, weight loss. She just was in so much pain, chronic pain. And she found a doctor in Yoga and Spa magazine that saved her life. And she said, that magazine saved my life. And I'm probably still publishing today because of her. And this is crazy that she's in this issue. She's only been in a couple issues. She wrote that article on Your Home is Your Sanctuary. So we stayed in touch. We became friends. So a lot of powerful women. That's what I love about my work. I've met so many incredible, I still continue to meet so many incredible, powerful women that are being of service, in the world. So we'll just tell Trisha's story since she's a current cover girl. She lost 50 pounds from healing her emotional eating issues. So that's why she's on a mission to help. She's helped thousands of women and has a goal of helping millions of women to not just heal, but end their emotional eating. And so she was at a fundraiser. I have a good karma section every issue where I feature a nonprofit. Here's one of girls in India. She was actually at this fundraiser. I had donated a 2-page feature, which she bid on, and she won it. And then she wanted to be on covers and help launch her book. So, and I did one. Of course, she's on the covers. They're out on the streets. That's great. But I did one little live, I think it was Facebook maybe, and or Instagram. I kind of mix them up, and drove at least 5 people just on that 90-second to her masterclass. And a woman there then bought like 3 or 4 for her children. She, gifted the emotional eating program to her children. So,
Oh, wow. How fun. What powerful stories. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Thank you.
oh, I have one more. I'm thinking of Katie Bartlett, who's going on her 3rd year in the magazine. I did one email for her, got her a $2,000 a month client. Three people, called in. I'm not sure if they all signed up, but I know her package is $2,000 a month. So
Oh, that's awesome.
So
Yeah, I'm sure the list
amazing.
goes on and on of all the people on both sides
Mm.
that are being helped by your work. That's so amazing,
yeah,
Stacy.
and I constantly get text. Oh my God, I just got a client in San Diego, and they'll be from St. Louis. Like that's Coach. That was she's going on her third year too. Um, I can't think of. I'm losing track. There's so many hundreds of amazing clients that I have. I want to find her though. She's so amazing. Um,
That's awesome.
That's wonderful. So,
I
so
can't think of what she calls her. Go ahead. Sorry.
sorry. I was just gonna say you have so many satisfying clients. That's amazing. Now, I know not all people want to work with us. So, do you know? Do you have any idea what's holding people back from working with you?
The biggest objection I get is budget.
Ah,
So I'm starting to consider, and I've done some like discounts, but then keep a percentage of their packages that we sell. So I'm kind
mm,
of, that's a model I know that
Mm-hmm.
people use. So we do have a new client out of Mexico City, but she lived in New York and has, quite a big following on TikTok. Oh, dear Deanna, that's what I was thinking. I was texted me that
ah,
she's in St. Louis. Dear Deanna, she's a life coach. Got a client out of San Diego. Um, so Morgan May has just come on board, and she just really, really wanted to be a cover girl, and I really, really wanted her. And so we created, and a lot of what I do is help. I kind of have a genius zone of helping create packages. Influencers and authors and coaches that they either don't have a package or system, or they need to really raise their rates, because the clientele that the magazine picks up, they don't mind paying 6,000 to
mm,
20,000 for a program. So that's a lot of what we do. So we created a master class for Morgan May, and we're going to launch that in May. And then we're splitting
That's
that
awesome.
revenue. So
oh, yeah,
that's becoming an option, because the magazine is national now, there's a great value, so our rates are higher. So sometimes, again, it's for people that are really ready to go bigger faster, and
mm,
become Insta famous and build their credibility faster by being seen in Mind Body Soul magazine.
And we
So
use the Rev Share model ourselves. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
you
very
do, yeah.
powerful. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
It
and I
keeps the
know Mind
cost.
Valley. I think Vision at Mind Valley has used that for years, and Shift Network, and I think a lot of media outlets have used that. So
Yeah, it's very powerful. And it keeps the front end costs lower, if that, like you said, it can be a barrier, and
Mm,
sort of drop that barrier, well, how about we, do some rev share? It works out for everybody that way. Everyone
yeah, yeah,
wins.
yeah, yeah. And one other thing that reminds me of, they get a quarterly strategy call with me.
mhm,
Awesome. That's awesome. I
yeah,
really love what you have put together. This is so cool.
I think
yeah.
people just want
It
to
really is.
people want to feel supported. I know when I feel supported, I fly. I have a whole team. I've always had, coach, business coach, health coach, life coach, and that's a secret to my success, is having support. And so people just really they need support. So
We go further faster with one another. And
Mm,
mhm.
especially with there's so many people in the world that have these special talents and abilities. And if everyone just works in their genius zone, and then we hire each
mm,
other for our genius zones, the world just keeps going on. It's just awesome.
yeah.
That's the things that happens in my brain.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, we have quarterly networking parties in the cities where all the advertisers get together, and they will fly to the different parties. We just had 100 people in Del Mar at a nice restaurant and networking. So they become each other's clients also and refer to each other. So it's definitely Mind Body Soul magazine family.
I was
Mm,
just
so
gonna say that
nice.
family is a great word for that. I love
Mhm.
that. I love that. Any last comments? Anything else you want to share before we ask you the final question?
I would love any.
Oh, uh-oh, hold on. We have you muted. There, go for it. Try
I
again.
had a call come in. I would love for anybody that is interested in being learning more and being featured in Mind, Body, Soul magazine to reach out to me at Stacy Oliver LLC at gmail.com, and we'll see if it's a fit.
That's awesome.
Sounds amazing.
Go ahead, Giddy.
I was just gonna say, yeah, I think it's been mind blowing. It's been so fascinating listening to you, Stacy. So thank you so much for coming on our show. We've been
Thanks
so
for
happy having
having
you
me.
here.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your journey and your story and all these awesome wins. I love it. I love it. That's
Yeah, all these success stories. I really loved listening to them. It was great. Thank you
I have
so
one
much.
more. Can I share one more that
yeah,
just
go
Oh,
for it.
sure. Go ahead.
I just thought of it last week. So I launched, remember, the Healthy Planet in Aspen in 2004. Two of my first advertisers were Dan Millman, who wrote Way of the um Dan, I'm sorry, Way of the Peaceful Warrior. Remember that book and movie, Way of the Peaceful Warrior? He was one of my first interviews and advertisers promoting his book. And Ariel Ford, um, who was an agent for many years, represented Deepak Chopra, Don Miguel Ruiz, who wrote the Four Agreements. She retired from that in 2004. Around there, launched her book, The Soulmate Kit, which became The Soulmate Secret, which became 11 more books. And she helps women find their soulmate and coaches women. Um, anyway, so 20 years later, last week, I was at her TED Talk. She was elected for a TED Talk at TEDx San Diego. So there's 600 applicants. She and 8 other people were chosen. So that was just huge to be there with someone who was in my first publication and promoted her first book 20 years ago. So that was really cool.
I love
Oh, so
that.
nice.
I love it. So if you're listeners out there, if you're hearing any of this and it's resonating with you and you're like, oh my gosh, I either need that magazine or I want to advertise in that magazine, please reach out to Stacy. Obviously, um, she knows her stuff. My gosh, you've created this beautiful family. I love hearing that. I love that.
I've printed I think like 1.3 million copies of health magazines. And in 2021, when I had the vision of Mind, Body, Soul, I kept hearing a million more copies, a million more copies. And I was like, really? Okay, I'll do it.
I love how in tune you are. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. That's powerful right there. Just to what a great example. You get these messages and you go for it, because the world's got your back. Like, you can't fail when you get those little anointings like that. What a
It
wonderful
takes a lot.
example.
It takes a lot of trust, right? Being a business
Mhm.
owner, an
Mm.
entrepreneur, I know it just takes a lot of trust. But I look at advertising and everybody wants to, what's the return on the investment? And I'm like, well, first of all, what does one client mean to you financially? Most people don't even know. So
Mm.
help them figure that out and like, okay, this is what we want to get you. So but what I know, my experience has been if I put myself out there, on a cover, that is a big message to the universe. I'm ready for more. I'm going for more. I want more. And, the rest takes care of itself.
I love that. And
Mm.
it's such a beautiful magazine.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It looks so exclusive, really, honestly.
And
Yeah.
it is full of journal pages. That's kind of my signature thing. You talked
Yeah.
about how am I so clear, how my years of journaling, and I also meditate and do a lot of yoga and meditation. And when you're in savasana after yoga class, laying there, I mean, answers will come, solutions will come, and I also meditate in the Akashic records. I'm also secretly, little known fact, I am Akashic Stacy. I
Ah,
teach people to open their Akashic records and And that's actually, I had a client, a cover girl, large client, asked me to guide her into the Akashic Records just last week. So that was interesting, it's seeping in, but
That's powerful. Yeah, that's
So
something I haven't
nice.
explored yet. That's really cool.
Yeah,
Good to
me
know.
neither.
Thanks for dropping that one in there. Excellent.
Mhm.
very similar to transcendental meditation, similar impact effect.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Wonderful. Awesome. All right. Anything else? Any other last thoughts before we wrap up? This has been wonderful.
So I just
Yeah.
want to show off a journal page.
Okay, perfect.
This is another happy client, Dawn Gaydon. Her 2-page feature, she actually used her second page and we helped her create this a couple of questions, for people to journal and engage more with her. And she's all about, she has a 33-day yes journal. So she's just a couple of prompts here to get people, and in the prints that is like a matte finish, so you can write in the magazine.
Nice. That was going to be my next question, is because you have them in specific cities right now. Do you also mail out as well, or?
We do. You can buy a subscription at mindbodysoul.media.
Perfect. Good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah. So once again, what is it that listeners should do next to connect with you on either front?
Email me if you're interested in being featured in the magazine, Stacy Oliver, LLC @gmail.com. Connect with me directly. If you go to the website and marketing, you might get lost in the shuffle. You can get a subscription or even download, you can just download the PDF to print to write, use the journal pages. Or of course, we'd love for you to purchase a subscription to the magazine at mindbodysoul.media.
Fantastic. I love that.
And just keep going. If people are struggling in business, ownership, it is not for the faint of heart, but just let it grow you, let it grow you. And it's just so much about trust, and really, that's something we learn along the way.
I love that. What a powerful ending. That's awesome. Thank you for your message, Stacy.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much for having me on your wonderful show. I love your show.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for giving so much value to our audience. We truly appreciate it, and appreciate you for coming on our show. Thank you so much, Stacy.
I hope it was helpful.
Yeah, it sure was. Thank you. Okay. Are we gonna wrap this up?
Yep,
Angie?
wrap it up. Go ahead,
Okay.
Giddy.
I'm Giddy.
And I'm Angie. And thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening. So keep your momentum, keep moving forward. And if you want to learn more about what Giddy and I do with Elite Virtual Stages and how we help businesses scale, you can find us on Facebook as well as the web at elitevirtualstages.com/report. You can get a free report there that answers a lot of questions about why would you even want to do a virtual event. And once again, thank you all for listening. And thank you, Stacy, so much for being here with us today.
Thank you. It's an honor.
Thank you.